Hello, 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 Sir David the Bard. Yes, I'm coming to you from the French embassy, and they wouldn't let three of my kangaroos in. The three kangaroos said, "You're not touching my pouches." And they said, "Hey, we can't put our hand in your pouch. You don't come into our country." All right, let me just kind of come up with something here that, um, unlike the rest of you, I'm in a situation where I'm subject to the news, and this terrible airplane crash that happened in the Alps is staggering. It's not the first man, I guess, that has crashed an airplane into a mountain, but I got thinking about, as usual, Bard's safety. Now, I have a safety device that is less than $10 that would have stopped that possible crash. It would have stopped that crash. Now, it's not fancy, and it's not expensive. And you could put one of these devices in the cockpit of every airplane. The name of that device is a urinal. Urinallie. That's the way the Bard spells it. The urinal. Now here's what caused, evidently, that airline crash, according to this recording time. The pilot didn't go to the bathroom before he left the airport. Now, those of us that have kids, and I have 14, we don't get in the car without saying to every child, "Have you gone to the bathroom?" So, maybe at the airport they need to have a bathroom monitor for pilots and say, "Have you gone to the bathroom before you get on that plane?" And that would have helped. That would have helped. Now, the second thing is, what if a pilot leaves the cockpit? Now, let me tell you, I'm going off because I haven't had my meds yet. But that's the best time of my life is when I'm not on them. I've researched cockpit, the word cockpit, and I guess it means where the pilots all have penises because they have cocks, and so they call it the cockpit. Now, when the women fly, do they call it the clit pit? The clit pit. I think it's only natural. What's fair is fair. All right, everybody into the clit pit. I'd be banging on that door. I'd get through that steel door. I would, use feet, hands, blowtorch, everything. Anyway, if there was a clit pit in there. Now, here's what the latest is, that they're flying, and the pilot says, "I gotta go pee pee," and the co-pilot says, "I'll fly the plane." He's okay. So he goes out, and he goes pee pee, and he comes back, and he goes to open the door, and those doors are impervious. I mean, there no way anyone can come through that door unless the inside person opens the door. So the pilot is outside, and at least he's going to die with a empty bladder. Hey, it's easier going down that way, I think. So he's beating on the door saying, "Open that damn door. Where the fuck's the midget?" So I don't know. I don't know. So the inside guy goes, "No, no, I'm not going to open the door." But you can hear him breathing, according to the recorder. And he wasn't breathing hard. He wasn't dead. He didn't have a heart attack. He wasn't screaming. So he obviously intended to fly 150 people into that mountain. Now, people will say to me, because I've been suicidal, suicidal and homicidal are two different things. I've been suicidal, but I have never been homicidal. I might have been homicidal, or maybe homosexual. I don't know. But anyway, if I'm going to kill myself, I just kill myself. That's it. I'm the only unhappy person. Why should I take other people with me? But as a background person in psychology here, the reason I think that he took down 150 with him is people who do the murder-suicide believe the people sitting behind him are the society that has discriminated against him, hated him, and made his life miserable. Now, I don't know if the man was gay. I don't have a lot of information on that. He did live with his family. He's 28 years old, and I think I read that he lived with his family. That's a little unusual. So most people who are homicidal and suicidal believe that society gets what it gives. And when they're going out, they're going to take as many out with them as they can. So misery likes company, and some people can be homicidal and suicidal at the same time, and I think that's what he was. But anyway, from now on, some of the airlines now in Europe required the pilots to both be in there. You can't come out. Give them a urinal. Give them a bedpan. Whatever it takes. I want to get there. You know what I'm saying? If I have to pay an extra 65 cents to buy bedpans and urinals, hey, it's better than being in the side of that mountain. So anyway, I think that all airlines should require urinals in the cock or the clit pits. Oh, this society! I love this society. I just love the you people structure yourselves. Anyway, um, the Bard knows this shit, okay? Because when I drive, I used to drive from BYU to California. BYU, because I was in between breaks. I was never expelled, but I was on academic probation, and I had to run to California to buy my tuition or earn it and then run back. One thing the Bard knows. Now, this is simple stuff, but most of you don't know it. If you go into a McDonald's and you buy a medium Coke, you can't piss more than a medium Coke. That's all you put inside. That's all that can come outside. So I always save my McDonald's cups, and I put them right there in the console. My wives and children hate me. I don't care. I just don't care. So I would, be driving along, and it's about 11 and a half hours from BYU to La Coast, California, and I never stopped except for gas. That was the Bard rule. Kids, if you don't go to the bathroom when I stop, you do what you have to do. So anyway, I would take the McDonald's cup and I would piss in it. And but I'd keep rolling. I'd keep that old speed control right up there and put the cup back. And I hated it when I would go by a couple of hours and I would think that it was a Coke there. And I go, oh shit, it's the piss. So I've learned now that you don't throw piss out of a car at 80 miles an hour. There's a hell of a wind out there. There's a hell of a wind out there, and I'm not going to tell you how I learned this stuff, but you don't throw piss out of a cup in the 80 mile an hour wind. You don't pull on Superman's cape, you don't spit into the wind, and you don't mess around with, what's his name, and you don't hit Slim. I forget that phrase. But anyway, I was in Las Vegas, and I was married to the psychiatric wife, Sandra, and the wind was blowing on my side of the car, so I just told her to put the window down on her side of the car, and I took the piss cup, and I threw it out her window just as the wind changed. Looking back on it now, I think it's funny, because I divorced her ass, and, we're not there together. So anyway, I didn't divorce her, we divorced each other. Anyway, you don't piss into the wind. There is something. Now, what brings this up is that the pilots have a little window there. And, in the same way with the astronauts, they throw their piss out into space. And the airplanes. Years ago, the airplanes used to dump their shit out over farmland. And I don't know, cities or other places. They don't do that anymore, but it used to be that you would get frozen shit, because if you put shit out at 38,000 feet, it freezes. Now, I've never seen a frozen shit. I'm speaking totally out of my category here, but anyway, the airplanes used to throw that out. Well, maybe you could put like a little tube or something in that window, so the pilot could take his urinal and pour it through the tube and then out. Now, there's ways of handling these things. Going out of the cockpit or the clit pit and not being able to get back in is a bitch. That's a bitch, especially if you've got a suicidal pilot up there. So anyway, the rules have always been in American airlines that you have two people in the clit pit or the cockpit, and that's if one has a heart attack. It's the same way with surgery. Surgeons don't operate without another surgeon in the room, because if they have a heart attack and they have a person open for surgery, then the other person has to stand in and finish the operation. Now, the poo-poo. Okay, now the Bard thinks on this stuff. I mean, I got nothing to do because I'm sitting in this chair. The Bard thinks this shit because I'm bored. What do you do with frozen poo-poo? I don't know. Now, here's what I think could be dangerous. Is that, and I think there should be a sprinkler system in the cock, and the clock, and the clit pit. Here's why. If you have a pilot pulling up the bedpan and he's sitting on that thing and he's farting a lot, there could be a fire in there. It wouldn't be a terrorist, it would be a terror butt. And boom, the co-pilot goes out the window, and they used to have a navigator. I guess the computers all do that now, but pooping in the cockpit, I think, could be dangerous. But again, if you get one of those great big fans that they have in Los Angeles at the movie studios, and makes it look like a hurricane, you put that sucker up to the side, and then if one of them goes poo-poo, you just open the window at 38,000 feet. And it'll suck the poop right out, but you got to hold on tight because it's going to try to suck you out too when the decompression works. And you've got to have a device on the side of the plane that closes all the windows on that side of the plane. Because if you've paid $3,000 to fly to Hawaii and you're sitting there thinking Hawaii, and frozen poop goes by your window or hits the wing, it goes all over your window, you're going to ask for your money back. So frozen poop isn't dangerous, but the methane gas, could be dangerous, and the big fan will help that. And if you open the window and hold on tight, you can throw that thing out the window. And now, diarrhea, I don't know. You may want to close the windows on both sides. And when that plane comes in and lands, and the landing crew all comes up, and they look up there and go, holy shit, we got to watch this plane. It's a shit plane. But you know what? No one died. No one died. And maybe what you need to do too, here's just another Bard idea, build another bathroom only for the pilots. If they really, need to go to the bathroom on an airline flight, build a bathroom or give them one of those camping stools that you put the plastic bag in, and you can go poo-poo, and you can go pee-pee in the bag. You wrap the bag in, throw that sucker out the window, close the windows of the passengers so they don't see the bag go by. Maybe you need a restroom or a pee-pee place for pilots that they don't have to go out the door. Now, I've thought about, but I have discontinued those thoughts, that you could actually open a little window and just pee out the window. But I studied at 38,000 feet, you're going to have a frozen penis fly right by the passenger. You're going to have to close the windows. Because the old ladies, when they see a frozen penis come by, and they're not going to be able to know it was the pilots, but they know damn well it must have come from up front somewhere, because it's going by them. So anyway, here's the Bard. I certainly have sympathy and empathy for the poor families that innocently died in that situation. I try to see the best in the world as I can, and I try new inventions. And so the clit pit, I think, is a good idea. And you have a little sign that says, when the passengers get in, today there's a clit pit, or there's a cockpit, or there's pit. Now there's going to be Hanky the Panky up in the Mile High, what do they call that? The Mile High, I forget. You tell me. You guys are all smarter than I. It's screwing up in an airplane, a Mile High club. I think it's a club. And so it's very similar to the Mormon church. It's kind of like a club too, because they have secret, don't cut my throat, don't cut my heart out, don't cut this out, don't cut that out, pay me, lay me, and nail me, oh God, hear the words of my mouth 3 times, and health and enable, marrow on the bone, strength and loins, and your power of priesthood be upon me and upon my posterity through all generations of time, and throughout all eternity. The name of the second token of the Melchizedek priesthood, the patriarchal grip, or sure sign of the nail. So anyway, next time you're flying, avoid pilots getting on the plane with a seeing eye dog. Avoid pilots who are being helped to the plane because of being drunk. And make sure you ask your pilot, do you have your urinal? I want to see your urinal, sir. So anyway, this is the Bard, and the Bard is gone.